What's going on? Welcome back to our exciting episode of Tech Productions. Sky Bancroft being joined once again by Fluff, Nick, and Jake.
What up, people?
Second this time.
What's going on, y'all?
Earlier, we talked about the Broly engine. We're going to go over the Goten stuff, where I still like, upfront, look, I like this deck for what it is, but I don't think it holds anything towards the Broly deck. But let's kind of get into it.
Spoilers, it's dog shit.
There's buttons. Click them there for a reason. Let's talk about these cards, and we'll talk about Fluff's favorite deck. Activate main once returned. Look up top 5 cards for your deck. Add up to 1 green Son Gohan Adolescence or Goten card to your hand. Shuffle your deck afterwards. I like these activate mains because it means a turn 1 play isn't lost, because typically turn 1 players that can't swing get a draw. You're still getting a draw initially out of this, which is fantastic. Awaken when your life is 4 or less, and you have you have 2 or more energy, and you have a family Kamehameha emotions delivered in your battle area. You draw 2 cards, add cards from your life to your hand. You don't restand energy, which is kind of hurts a little bit. On the Awaken, your SS Son Gohan and SS Son Goten brothers, because that need to be specified. Auto once returned when you play a Son Gohan Adolescence or a Son Goten card, both green with energy cost of 6 or more from your hand, you draw 1 card, so you don't really have to swing for this effect. Activate main once returned. Play up to 1 Son Gohan Close Call or Son Goten Close Call from your hand or drop in rest mode. Activate battle once returned. If you discard 1 card from your hand during that turn, the next time you would activate battle on a Son Gohan Adolescence or a Son Goten card, both green with energy cost of 6 from your hand, reduce that skill's cost by 1. I do like that effect because you can still do it for free. Now, are those 6 drops great? I think they're mediocre at best. We'll get over that later. Leader alone, what's your guys' opinion?
What?
Terrible. Terrible.
Let's see.
So, the front side leader, like I said, I like leaders who can just activate main, search for a card. That's fantastic. My problem is backside. Yes, in order to draw, you have to play one of the 6 drops. And the close calls that you play use activate mains are actually 4 drops, if I recall correctly. They're not 6 drops. So you don't get the draw for the activate main effect. But then you can turn around and pay 1 to evolve on, or to, I think it's EX Evolve, I can't remember, but to go on top of the 4 drop to draw a card then. But I don't think those restand. But let's go over the rest of the engine and talk about it then. So starting with the Z cards, we're going to go with the Family Kamehameha Emotions Delivered, which is a 1/1. It's a Z stack, so it will pull the green Son Goku with energy cost of 2. Auto for 1 green energy. When your green card with both Son Gohan Adolescence and Goten with an energy cost of 8 attacks, play up to 1 SS Son Goku Emotions Delivered from underneath this card. Activate battle limit 1. If your battle card with energy cost of 8 or your leader, both green, and with both Son Gohan Adolescence and Son Goten is in battle, and you remove this card from game, your card that's in battle gets plus 10,000 power and critical for the battle. This one, unlike the Broly, is definitely 100% leader lock. You cannot kind of side tech this anything, and it's definitely meant to hang on to until you just want to get a cheeky crit in with your leader or top in effect.
This feels like a late game card, and crit is not a late game skill.
No.
If it was like a double or triple strike, it would make the card a lot more threatening, but crit on that is not the best skill to have.
Not the best at all.
So the Goku that you will play with this card has the flex, so it's hitting the battle area. Auto limit 1, green energy. When this card is played, choose 1 of your SS Son Gohan and SS Son Goten Emotions Delivered card and switch it to active mode, which is good. Secondary auto, green, if your leader Son Gohan and if your SS Son Gohan and SS Son Goten Emotions Delivered is in battle, and you switch this card to rest mode, when an activate battle skill activates on 1 of your Family Kamehameha Emotions Delivered from your card that is in battle gets plus 10k in triple strike for battle. So that turns the 8 drop this is for 2 energy, and if I recall correctly, because I just read it, it's when you play When your green card, both Sun Gohan, LSs, and Goten, energy cost of 8, attack. Sorry. So once you establish the 8 drop and you swing with the 8 drop, you play the Goku, you tap 2 green energy initially for this card because you're going to turn around and pop the activate battle on the Family Kamehameha. So that will boost the 8 drop by 20k, give the 8 drop crit, and triple strike. So it's a 40k triple strike crit, which if your opponent's at say 4 life and that they're letting that attack go through, knowing that can happen, that's trouble. That's problematic. That's definitely trouble.
It's a 50k triple strike crit. It's huge, but all the setup required to get there
is
you need to have 3 cards on the field to get this effect off. It's crazy.
Yes, I will.
Granted, 2 of them come from the Z deck.
Yeah, I mean they're putting foot in the mouth. That's where there's the triple strike effect that we talked about. That is good on paper, but to get this to go off is incredibly difficult. Like Fluff was saying, granted you need the 8 drop in order to do the triple strike effect. So if you use the Z battle card or the Z extra card on the leader swing, it's essentially worthless. So you have to have that card, and essentially your opponent's just going to say, "I'm going to negate the swing."
Yeah. They have to negate the swing. Now, granted, it is an auto on the Family Kamehameha when the card attacks. So if they negate swing, you get to restand. So you have to. Sorry, I said 2 energy earlier. It's a 3 energy combo. The Goku on play, you pay 1, you restand that card. So like you call the attack, they negate. Okay, cool. Goku will play. I'll pay another green, restand the 8 drop, and then swing again. And if they can't negate that one, then it's a 50k triple strike crit. Regardless, I don't think you go for the dual attack mechanic of this. You just you go for it when your opponent's at 3 life. And you either use it as a way of baiting a negate in order to play something else, and they don't say no negate, then you pay the energy to make it a 50k triple strike, and then you go for game if you have the resources for it. Just be careful what deck you play against, because you don't want to get it's like if it's yellow, they're gonna Vegeta's Final Flash you. Other decks have ways of removing cards from battle area or popping. Because we haven't talked about the 8 drop yet, but it has no protection.
I mean,
we're
looking at 5 energy to see this combo through all the way, because you pay 1 on the 8 drop. 2 on the Goku to play the Goku, 1 for one of the Goku's effects, another for the other Goku effect, and then the Family Kamehameha activates for free. So you're investing 5 energy into this.
And the way I see this, like, I mean, granted, there's going to be other factors in play, but if a card can get countered by a token negate, then it's bad.
Yeah. And we were just talking about the Broly archetype, where for 5 energy in that deck, you would get multiple potential game warping battle cards in play. And here it just kind of looks like we're getting a big triple strike.
Yeah. So we're going to move over to the 1s, the 4s, and I think the 6s. Starting with the 1s, we have Sun Gohan close call and Sun Goten close call. Both of these are pretty much the exact same thing. It's like Vegito. It's more like Trunks Vegeta than Vegito is. Both cards have, when this card's played, you choose one. Either draw 1 card, or you play up to 1. In this case, Gohan will play 1 Sun Goten close calls from your deck with its skills negated for the turn. Shuffle your deck afterwards. And the Goten's close calls will play the Sun Gohan. And I think these are actually... Jake, remind me. Does Trunks Vegeta play the other ones from the deck as well, or they have to be in the drop?
Deck or drop. So this one looks like it's just deck.
It is
right?
just deck, yes.
So that's half of the utility of Trunks Vegeta is being able to play those from the drop area.
And they have the flex, so they're hitting the board.
Yeah, but they do not have barrier though.
Do not have barrier. Yes.
It's debatable depending on format which one is better, but immediately the fact that these don't search drop area as well stands out to me.
I will say these will play in active mode though. Their skills are negated.
Yeah, only the leader plays them in rest mode in Trunks Vegeta.
Yeah,
Trunks
and
Vegeta's is non-keyword skills, excuse me.
and then we have to remember the leader, Wake Inside, can play one of them. The leader can play one from the drop.
Yes.
Okay.
So moving on up to the 4-drops, which are both have deflect. I'll go over one each, but
they do have deflect.
I think they both read exactly the same thing. But Gohan, deflect, EX evolve for 1 green energy on top of your Son Gohan Adolescence if an energy cost of 1. It has to be green. Auto, when this card is played, you switch this card to active mode. Look up to 5 cards from the top of your deck. Add up to 1 green Son Gohan Adolescence or Son Goten card off your deck. So I did talk about earlier, the leader by itself feels very weak because it has no initial draw, but you have to play a 6-drop to get the draw. But free playing the 1-drops that aren't negated by so you can still get the draw off that 1-drop, or you could just get the other one off there. But when the 4-drops are played, they will search your deck for a card, add it to your hand. The grant has to be a Son Gohan or a Goten. Then activate main for 1 green energy. You play 1 Son Gohan, release power from your hand on top of this card in active mode, which I think is a 6-drop, which we'll go over that one later. But initially, in order to get a draw from your leader, it looks like you have to spend at least 2 energy to do that. And Goten, pretty much the exact same thing. Involves top of this EX evolves on top of a Son Goten with energy cost of 1. When this card's played, switch to active mode, look top 5 cards for either Gohan or Goten, no energy cost, and then activate main, play a Son Goten, release power from your hand. So yeah, so initially the 4 and the 4-drops read just like the 1-drops. They're exactly the same. It's just you switch one for the other. Which I like these, but once again, like, it's not worth, in my opinion, to pay 2 energy to get a draw off a leader. Yes, you can activate main to play a 1-drop just to get a draw off that card, if that's how you want to rely on this leader to play in its entirety, and just play other good green cards. But then there's better green leaders for that.
And you do have the leaders activate battle to make the 6-drop
True.
coming in free. But you have to discard a card from hand to do that, so it's a replacement rather than a true plus. There's just, and we'll see the 6-drops here in a moment, but there's just not enough value to warrant even doing that.
Actually, looking over this again, the leader read activate battle. If you discard 1 card from your hand during that turn, next time you activate battle on a Son Gohan Adolescence or Son Goten, both green energy cost of 6. Okay, yes, because I forgot let's go over the 6-drops because I forgot about this part. So there are 3 different 6-drops for this. If I recall, there's 3 different ones, and we'll go over the Gohan first, which I think reads exactly like the Goten. But let's start with Gohan. Oh, it does not. Auto, when this card is played, choose to one of your opponent's unisons, remove 2 markers from it, because we've seen a unison in this format so far. No, we haven't. If you place 2 cards from under this card in your drop, when this card attacks, your opponent discards 1 card from your hand. Yes, you can have that because initially the 1 and the 4-drop will be under this card. So when you attack,
but that won't work during the activate. But if you do the activate battle,
correct? Yes,
because the card already
yes,
swung,
correct.
So you'd miss the auto.
That's why you have to use the activate main on the 4-drops.
So you swing with the 4-drop, use the activate main on the 4-drop, play the 6-drop. It switches to active mode. Then
or you can activate battle, limit 1 green, or it can be free if the leader use the leader's effect. If your green Son Gohan Adolescence card of energy cost of 4 is attacking, you can play this card from your hand on top of the attacking card, and this card gains crit for the battle. So it's a surprise crit. Which I do believe is good, but in order to take full advantage, you have to discard a card ahead of time, and I don't think this card's play is worth it in a sense. So, like, I like this card's auto because it can be good. Just as a discard 1 card. These cards are useless underneath this card now. Put them in the drop for other things for later on the road. But a surprise crit for 1 energy or free if you discard a card, that's iffy to me. That's iffy.
Yeah, very iffy.
When there's, like, if we're looking just at current sets, if you can play in Gohan the green Vegeta, that's just a play 1 energy for no additional cost and then a 19k crit. Over this, where you have to be in the middle of a battle for a surprise crit.
Yeah. Goten, on the other hand, is a surprise double strike. If you activate battle, limit 1 for 1 green energy, or free if your leader. If your green Sun Goten with energy cost of 4 is attacking, play this card from your hand on top of the attacking card, and this card gains double strike for the battle. I think a surprise double strike is great, but activate battle, place 2 cards underneath this card in your drop, choose one of your cards, it gets plus 5,000 power for the turn. This is could be free or for 1 energy, a double strike, 25k. I like it a lot more than the Gohan.
You have to pay you're sacrificing the 2 cards under this, so it's a 1-time plus 5k effect for the turn, which is really nice because you could kind of bean up your leader if you needed to.
Yeah, what I was going to say is notice that it's targeting, so you can pick any card. So you can get real sneaky and, like, say, go into one of your bigger guys on the end board that you can go into. So that's nice. This is a lot better.
And then the last one is a combine between 2. It's SS Sun Gohan and SS Sun Goten. Battle ready. Deflect. When this card is played, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and KO it. Activate battle. Limit 1 green if you're Sun Gohan Adolescence or Sun Goten card. Both green, energy cost 4 is attacking. You can play this card on top of it and draw 1 card. It's not a sneaky crit. It's not a sneaky double strike. But what it is that
it's the first card in the fucking archetype that draws a card.
It draws on play, but you can also you have to use it during your turn and your turn only because it specifies it has to be attacking, so you can't do this as a sneaky blow up. But it will pop a card, which I think is nice. But yeah, no, it's a card that will draw a card. You're right.
Yeah, potentially could be free off the leader, but yeah, I mean, yeah, it's all right.
Woof! You guys smell that? Oh, that's a terrible smell. It's like a type of dog shit.
The art's cool.
The art is fantastic. Yeah. Before we go into the 8-drop, I just want to talk about the super combo because it feels like it's good. It's just Trunks. All right, go to the next card. All right. Yeah, I just meant Goten Trunks because Trunks was there for the thing. But the 8-drop, Sun Gohan and Sun Goten emotions delivered. This is the big game-ending card that you unfortunately have to do a lot to get to this point. Auto when this card attacks, choose one of your opponent's unisons, remove 2 markers from it, which we know this isn't a unison-heavy format anymore. Yes, from I think the tournament packs that were accidentally revealed last set, I know we're getting a yellow unison for, I don't remember what tribe it was, but it was I equate to the Native American tribe, but it's Upa, I think his name is, but there was a unison, I think, in that set. So yeah, sure, maybe this is good against yellow. Maybe. Except for it gets Final Flash. Auto, once returned, when your green Saiyan card deals damage to your opponent, you choose one. Choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and KO it, or your opponent discards 1 card from your hand. This is great in the sense that as long as a green Saiyan card deals damage to your opponent, they have discard a card. That still feels for an 8-drop, not like, I've seen a lot of 8-drops. This is an SR. I've seen a lot of 8-drops where, like, I do XYZ. This card's like, well, I can do XYZ if this happens. It does have an activate main for one green energy. If your leader card is green, your opponent has 3 more energy, and you have a Z extra in your battle area, you can play this card from your hand. So, yes, it is a 1 cost to play if in this particular deck. That will then turn around and become potentially a 50k crit triple strike.
Maybe.
I think the 8-drop in the last set's better, or the current set's better than this one by a mile.
The only thing this card's got going for it, honestly, is the art.
The art's fantastic. I love this style of breaking it up. I've always talked about, like, we need to do, like, a secret, like, if they made SPRs like manga panels, that would be amazing. And this is, like, the closest we've gotten to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this card on paper is, I would say it's okay at best.
This card is green on paper. Like generic green.
Yeah.
That's what this card is. The problem is that you have to have a Z extra card in your battle area, and we've only seen, I guess you could play this card if you want to in Broly, you know? But the Z extra card for this archetype can only be played with this leader. This card will only gain full power if you play it in this deck, though.
Yeah, the thing I like about what I like about this card is the auto to remove units of markers is not a once per turn or limit. So
True.
if you get the full effect and you restand it, your opponent has a unison on board, they remove 2. So I mean, or remove 4 in total. So that's decent. But again, unisons aren't a thing right now. And I like the once per turn for the second of auto. That is really good in the fact that it's not relying on this card specifically dealing
Correct.
damage. So it's always going to be a threat on your opponent's turn. And I feel like this card would be even better in the Broly deck just because of the 8-drop Broly that we saw that will deal damage when it KOs a battle card. Yep. So I feel like this is meant, like the text on this card is meant for that deck, but it's playing in this deck.
I will agree with that one, yeah. So that's pretty much covers the Goten Gohan archetype, but because this was the kind of the rest of the green reveals, there were 2 more green cards that I want to lightly talk about that I absolutely love. I think the cards are great, and I love when Bandai does this. The first one is Krillin and Yamcha, Turtle School Experts. Permanent, if you have a Son Goku skills improved in play, this card gets plus 10,000 power. And then auto limit 1 for 1 green energy. Choose one of your Krillins or Yamcha cards, both green Turtle School, with energy cost of 1. Place in the drop when one of your cards attacks and KOs an opponent's battle card. You draw 1, play this card from your hand. This is something that Turtle School, like, I love seeing archetypes get a little bit more flavor, a little bit more, I don't want to say power, but this will, instead of playing a Krillin that's dual attack crit, or a Yamcha, I think that's just a basic swing, it gives another option for the deck, so that way you don't have to worry about playing other things, and then it gives you just more stuff. Like it boosts its power to 25k instead of a 15k. I think it's cool. And the last one is Roshi, Master Roshi, the Turtle School Patriarch. For every green Turtle School in your Z energy, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 1. So initially, this is a 1-cost card, which has an auto limit 1. When this card's played, reduce the energy cost of Son Goku, Krillin, and Yamcha Turtle School inheritors in your Z deck by 2 green for the turn, which I think I would say when I mailed that deck, I put that deck in my Z energy just because it was meant for that deck, but that card never saw played because it cost 3 energy to do, and it was just too expensive to play. And this card makes that deck playable now, because that card on play, if I recall correctly, will play a Turtle School from your deck, I think, with its skills negated for the turn. So just being able to now pay 2 for a 15k, I think a 20k, and then another like 15k or 20k is phenomenal. Like this is what it needed, and I hope the rest of the colors that we get as we go on through this, if they kind of like add, like if red, because I think red's next from the green, if they get cards that boost other things, that's great. Same thing with blue and yellow. Maybe that Nappa we saw is for an older archetype that I don't think is, but hey, whatever. I just like when they do this, and I think those cards are fantastic for older sets, even if it's just one set or one.
Yeah, I really like that Roshi.
Yeah,
that Roshi's dope.
Is Gohan Goten better in Broly? In our opinions, no.
No.
I will still, if no one plays this deck, I will still play it to kind of figure it out and just have fun with it. But it's not, I think Of Green, Broly wins this one out. That's my thoughts. Sounds like that's what everyone else's thoughts are here as well in our call. But if you really are interested in this deck, let us know in the comments. Let us know why.
And it's not totally terrible, right?
Yeah.
Like it does have some upsides to it, but like comparatively to like Gohan, Turtle School, and the new Brawly deck released, it's just not good.
It feels like it's just, this is a green deck. There's no more to say. It's not super strong. I don't want to say it's super weak. I think it has the ability to be decent, but at the same time, I don't think it will outshine any of the current green decks. But yeah, that's our opinion. Hope you all enjoyed. Keep in mind, there's comments, buttons, click them, do things. Let us know what's going on, and let us know what you think of this deck as well. And yeah, bye.